the Supreme, the mind, and the body. From what you told us, it appears that you are not quite conscious of your surroundings. To us, you seem extremely alert and active. We cannot possibly believe that you are in a kind of hypnotic state, which leaves no memory behind. On the contrary, your memory seems excellent. How are we to understand your statement that the world and all it includes does not exist as far as you are concerned? It is all a matter of focus. Your mind is focused in the world. Mine is focused in reality. It is like the moon in daylight. When the sun shines, the moon is hardly visible. Or watch how you take your food. As long as it is in your mouth, you are conscious of it. Once swallowed, it does not concern you any longer. It will be troublesome to have it constantly in mind until it is eliminated. The mind should be normally in abeyance. Incessant activity is a morbid state. The universe works by itself. That I know. What else do I need to know? So a jnani knows what he is doing only when he turns his mind to it, otherwise he just acts without being concerned? The average man is not conscious of his body as such. He is conscious of his sensations, feelings, and thoughts. Even these, once detachment sets in, move away from the center of consciousness and happen spontaneously and effortlessly. What then is in the center of consciousness? That which cannot be given name and form, for it is without quality and beyond consciousness. You say it is a point in consciousness which is beyond consciousness. Like a hole in the paper is both in the paper yet not of the paper, so is the supreme state in the very center of consciousness and yet beyond consciousness. It is as if an opening in the mind through which the mind is flooded with light. The opening is not even the light. It is just an opening. An opening is just void, absence. Quite so. From the mind's point of view, it is but an opening for the light of awareness to enter the mental space. By itself, the light can only be compared to a solid, dense, rock-like, homogeneous, and changeless mass of pure awareness, free from the mental patterns of name and shape. Is there any connection between the mental space and the supreme abode? The supreme gives existence to the mind. The mind gives existence to the body. And what lies beyond? Take an example. A venerable yogi, a master in the art of longevity, himself over 1,000 years old, comes to teach me his art. I fully respect and sincerely admire his achievements, yet all I can tell him is, of what use is longevity to me? I am beyond time. However long a life may be, it is but a moment and a dream. In the same way, I am beyond all attributes. They appear and disappear in my light, but cannot describe me. The universe is all names and forms, based on qualities and their differences. Well, I am beyond. The world is there because I am, but I am not the world. But you are living in the world. That's what you say. I know there is a world which includes this body and this mind, but I do not consider them to be more mine than other minds and bodies. They are there, in time and space, but I am timeless and spaceless. But since all exist by your light, are you not the creator of the world? I am neither the potentiality nor the actualization, nor the actuality of things. In my light they come and go, as the specks of dust dancing in the sunbeam. The light illumines the specks, but does not depend on them, nor can it be said to create them. It cannot be even said to know them. I am asking you a question, and you are answering. Are you conscious of the question and the answer? In reality, I am neither hearing nor answering. In the world of events, the question happens and the answer happens. Nothing happens to me. Everything just happens. And you are the witness? What does witness mean? Mere knowledge. It rained, and now the rain is over. I did not get wet. I know it rained, but I am not affected. I just witnessed the rain. The fully realized man, spontaneously abiding in the supreme state, appears to eat, drink, and so on. Is he aware of it or not? That in which consciousness happens, the universal consciousness or mind, we call the ether of consciousness. All the objects of consciousness from the universe, what is beyond both, supporting both, is the supreme state, a state of utter stillness and silence. Whoever goes there disappears. It is unreachable by words or mind. You may call it God, or Parabrahman, or Supreme Reality. But these are names given by the mind. It is the nameless, contentless, effortless, and spontaneous state, beyond being and not being. But does one remain conscious? As the universe is the body of the mind, so is consciousness the body of the Supreme. It is not conscious, but it gives rise to consciousness. In my daily actions, much goes by habit, automatically. I am aware of the general purpose, but not of each movement in detail. As my consciousness broadens and deepens, details tend to recede, leaving me free for the general trends. Does not the same happen to a jnani, but more so? On the level of consciousness, yes. In the supreme state, no. This state is entirely one and indivisible, a single solid block of reality. The only way of knowing it is to be it. The mind cannot reach it. To perceive it, it does not need the senses. To know it, it does not need the mind. That is how God runs the world. God is not running the world. Then who is doing it? Nobody. All happens by itself. You are asking the question and you are supplying the answer. And you know the answer when you ask the question. All is a play in consciousness. All divisions are illusory. You can know the false only. The true you must yourself be. There is the witnessed consciousness, and there is the witnessing consciousness. Is the second the supreme? There are two, the person and the witness, the observer. When you see them as one and go beyond, you are in the supreme state. It is not perceivable because it is what makes perception possible. It is beyond being and not being. It is neither the mirror nor the image in the mirror. It is what is the timeless reality, unbelievably hard and solid. The jnani, is he the witness of the Supreme? He is the Supreme, of course, but he can only be viewed as the universal witness. But he remains a person? When you believe yourself to be a person, you see persons everywhere. In reality, there are no persons, only threads of memories and habits. At the moment of realization, the person ceases. Identity remains, but identity is not a person. It is inherent in the reality itself. The person has no being in itself. It is a reflection in the mind of the witness, the I am, which again is the mode of being. Is the Supreme conscious? Neither conscious nor unconscious. I am telling you from experience. Pragnam Brahma? What is this prajna? It is the unself-conscious knowledge of life itself. Is it vitality, the energy of life, livingness? Energy comes first, for everything is a form of energy. Consciousness is most differentiated in the waking state, less so in dream, still less in sleep. Homogeneous in the fourth state, beyond the inexpressible monolithic reality, the abode of the jnani. I have cut my hand. It healed. By what power did it heal? By the power of life. What is that power? It is consciousness. All is conscious. What is the source of consciousness? Consciousness itself is the source of everything. Can there be life without consciousness? No, nor consciousness without life. They are both one. But in reality, only the ultimate is. The rest is a matter of name and form. And as long as you cling to the idea that only what has name and shape exists, the Supreme will appear to you non-existing. When you understand that names and shapes are hollow shells without any content whatsoever, And what is real is nameless and formless, pure energy of life and light of consciousness. You will be at peace, immersed in the deep silence of reality. If time and space are mere illusions and you are beyond, please tell me, what is the weather in New York? Is it hot or is it raining there? How can I tell you? Such things need special training. Or just traveling to New York. I may be quite certain that I am beyond time and space, and yet unable to locate myself at will at some point of time and space. I am not interested enough. I see no purpose in undergoing a special yogic training. I have just heard of New York. To me it is a word. Why should I know more than the word conveys? Every atom may be a universe as complex as ours. Must I know them all? I can, if I train. In putting the question about the weather in New York, where did I make the mistake? The world and the mind are states of being. The Supreme is not a state. It pervades all states. But it is not a state of something else. It is entirely uncaused, independent, complete in itself, beyond time and space, mind and matter. By what sign do you recognize it? That's the point, that it leaves no traces. There is nothing to recognize it by. It must be seen directly by giving up all search for signs and approaches. When all names and forms have been given up, the real is with you. You need not seek it. Plurality and diversity are the play of the mind only. Reality is one. If reality leaves no evidence, there's no speaking about it. It cannot be denied. It is deep and dark, mystery beyond mystery, but it is, while all else merely happens. Is it the unknown? It is beyond both the known and the unknown, but I would rather call it the known than the unknown. For whenever something is known, it is the real that is known. Is silence an attribute of the real? That, too, is of the mind. All states and conditions are of the mind. What is the place of samadhi? Not making use of one's consciousness is samadhi. You just leave your mind alone. You want nothing, neither from your body nor from your mind. Appearances and the reality. Repeatedly you have been saying that events are causeless. A thing just happens and no cause can be assigned to it. Surely everything has a cause, or several causes. How am I to understand the causelessness of things? From the highest point of view, the world has no cause. But what is your own experience? Everything is uncaused. The world has no cause. I'm not inquiring about the causes that led to the creation of the world. Who has seen the creation of the world? It may even be without a beginning, always existing. But I'm not talking about the world. I take the world to exist, somehow. It contains so many things. Surely each must have a cause or several causes. Once you create for yourself a world in time and space, governed by causality, you are bound to search for and find causes for everything. You put the question and impose an answer. My question is very simple. I see all kinds of things, and I understand that each must have a cause, or a number of causes. You say they are uncaused, from your point of view. But to you nothing has being, and therefore the question of causation does not arise. Yet you seem to admit the existence of things, but deny them causation. This is what I cannot grasp. Once you accept the existence of things, why reject their causes? I see only consciousness, and know everything to be but consciousness, as you know the picture on the cinema screen to be but light. Still the movements of light have a cause. The light does not move at all. You know very well that the movement is illusory, a sequence of interceptions and colorings in the film. What moves is the film, which is the mind. This does not make the picture causeless. The film is there, and the actors with the technicians, the director, the producer, the various manufacturers. The world is governed by causality. Everything is interlinked. Of course, everything is interlinked, and therefore everything has numberless causes. The entire universe contributes to the least thing. A thing is as it is, because the world is as it is. You see, you deal in gold ornaments, and I in gold. Between the different ornaments, there is no causal relation. When you remelt an ornament to make another, there is no causal relation between the two. The common factor is the gold. But you cannot say gold is the cause. It cannot be called a cause, for it causes nothing in itself. It is reflected in the mind as I am, as the ornament's particular name and shape. Yet all is only gold. In the same way, reality makes everything possible and yet nothing that makes a thing what it is, its name and form, comes from reality. But why worry so much about causation? What do causes matter when things themselves are transient? Let come what comes and let go what goes. Why catch hold of things and inquire about their causes? From the relative point of view, everything must have a cause. Of what use is the relative view to you? You are able to look from the absolute point of view. Why go back to the relative? Are you afraid of the absolute? I am afraid. I'm afraid of falling asleep over my so-called absolute certainties. For living a life decently, absolutes don't help. When you need a shirt, you buy cloth, call a tailor, and so on. All this talk shows ignorance. And what is the knower's view? There is only light, and the light is all. Everything else is but a picture made of light. The picture is in the light, and the light is in the picture. Life and death, self and not self. Abandon all these ideas. They are no use to you. From what point of view do you deny causation? From the relative? The universe is the cause of everything. From the absolute, there is no thing at all. From which state are you asking? From the daily waking state, in which alone all these discussions take place. In the waking state, all these problems arise, for such is its nature. But you are not always in that state. What good can you do in a state into which you fall and from which you emerge helplessly? In what way does it help you to know that things are causally related, as they may appear to be in your waking state? The world and the waking state emerge and subside together. When the mind is still absolutely silent, the waking state is no more. Words like God, universe, the total, absolute, supreme are just noises in the air, because no action can be taken on them. You are bringing up questions which you alone can answer. Don't brush me off like this. You are so quick to speak for the totality, the universe, and such imaginary things. They cannot come and forbid you to talk on their behalf. I hate those irresponsible generalizations, and you are so prone to personalize them. Without causality, there will be no order, nor purposeful action will be possible. Do you want to know all the causes of each event? Is it possible? I know it is not possible. All I want to know is if there are causes for everything, and the causes can be influenced, thereby affecting the events. To influence events, you need not know the causes. What a roundabout way of doing things. Are you not the source and the end of every event? Control it at the source itself. Every morning, I pick up the newspaper and read with dismay that the world's sorrows, poverty, hatred, and wars continue unabated. My questions are concerning the fact of sorrow, the cause, the remedy. Don't brush me off by saying that it is Buddhism. Don't label me. Your insistence on causelessness removes all hope of the world ever changing. You are confused because you believe that you are in the world and not the world in you. You, who came first? You or your parents? You imagine that you were born at a certain time and place, and that you have a father and a mother, a body and a name. This is your sin and your calamity. Surely you can change your world if you work at it. By all means work. Who stops you? I have never discouraged you. Causes or no causes, you have made this world, and you can change it. A causeless world is entirely beyond my control. On the contrary, a world of which you are the only source and ground is fully within your power to change. What is created can be always dissolved and recreated. All will happen as you want it, provided you really want it. All I want to know is how to deal with the world's sorrows. You have created them out of your own desires and fears. You deal with them. All is due to your having forgotten your own being. Having given reality to the picture on the screen, you love its people and suffer for them and seek to save them. It is just not so. You must begin with yourself. There is no other way. Work, of course. There is no harm in working. Your universe seems to contain every possible experience. The individual traces a line through it and experiences pleasant and unpleasant states. This gives rise to questioning and seeking, which broaden the outlook and enable the individual to go beyond his narrow and self-created world, limited and self-centered. This personal world can be changed in time. The universe is timeless and perfect. To take appearance for reality is a grievous sin and the cause of all calamities. You are the all-pervading, eternal, and infinitely creative awareness, consciousness. All else is local and temporary. Don't forget what you are. In the meantime, work to your heart's content. Work and knowledge should go hand in hand. My own feeling is that my spiritual development is not in my hands. Making one's own plans and carrying them out leads nowhere. I just run into circles around myself. When God considers the fruit to be ripe, He will pluck it and eat it. Whichever fruit seems green to Him will remain on the world's tree for another day. You think God knows you? Even the world He does not know. Yours is a different God. Mine is different. Mine is merciful. He suffers along with us. You pray to save one while thousands die. And if all stop dying, there will be no space on earth. I'm not afraid of death. My concern is with sorrow and suffering. My God is a simple God and rather helpless. He has no power to compel us to be wise. He can only stand and wait. If you and your God are both helpless, does it not imply that the world is accidental? And if it is, the only thing you can do is to go beyond it. The Jnani. Without God's power, nothing can be done. Even you would not be sitting here and talking to us without Him. All is His doing, no doubt. What is it to me, since I want nothing? What can God give me or take away from me? What is mine and was mine even when God was not. Of course, it is a very tiny little thing. A speck, the sense of I am, the fact of being. This is my own place. Nobody gave it to me. The earth is mine. What grows on it is God's. Did God take the earth on rent from you? God is my devotee and did all this for me. Is there no God apart from you? How can there be? I am is the root, God is the tree. Who am I to worship and what for? Are you the devotee or the object of devotion? I am neither. I am devotion itself. There is not enough devotion in the world. You are always after the improvement of the world. Do you really believe that the world is waiting for you to be saved? I just do not know how much I can do for the world. All I can do is to try. Is there anything else you would like me to do? Without you, is there a world? You know all about the world, but about yourself, you know nothing. You yourself are the tools of your work. You have no other tools. Why don't you take care of the tools before you think of the work? I can wait while the world cannot. By not inquiring, you keep the world waiting. Waiting for what? For somebody who can save it. God runs the world. God will save it. That's what you say. Did God come and tell you that the world is His creation and concern, and not yours? Why should it be my sole concern? Consider the world in which you live. Who else knows about it? You know, everybody knows. Did anybody come from the outside of your world to tell you? Myself and everybody else appear and disappear in your world. We are all at your mercy. It cannot be so bad. I exist in your world as you exist in mine. You have no evidence of my world. You are completely wrapped up in the world of your own making. I see. Completely, but hopelessly? Within the prison of your world appears a man who tells you that the world of painful contradictions which you have created is neither continuous nor permanent and is based on a misapprehension. He pleads with you to get out of it by the same way by which you got into it. You got into it by forgetting what you are, and you will get out of it by knowing yourself as you are. In what way does it affect the world? When you are free of the world, you can do something about it. As long as you are a prisoner of it, you are helpless to change it. On the contrary, whatever you do will aggravate the situation. Righteousness will set me free. Righteousness will undoubtedly make you and your world a comfortable, even happy place. But what is the use? There is no reality in it. It cannot last. God will help. To help you, God must know your existence. But you and your world are dream states. In dream, you may suffer agonies. None knows them, and none can help you. God will help. To help you, God must know your existence. But you and your world are dream states. So all my questions, my search and study are of no use? These are but the stirrings of a man who is tired of sleeping. They are not the causes of awakening, but its early signs. But you must not ask idle questions to which you already know the answers. How am I to get a true answer? By asking a true question. Not verbally, but by daring to live according to your lights. A man willing to die for truth will get it. Another question. There is the person, there is the answer, there is the knower of the person, there is the witness. Are the knower and the witness the same, or are they separate states? The knower and the witness are two or one. When the knower is seen as separate from the known, the witness stands alone. When the known and the knower are seen as one, the witness becomes one with them. Who is the jnani, the witness or the supreme? The jnani is the supreme and also the witness. He is both being and awareness. In relation to consciousness, he is awareness. In relation to the universe, he is pure being. And what about the person? What comes first, the person or the knower? The person is a very small thing. Actually, it is a composite. It cannot be said to exist by itself. Unperceived, it is just not there. It is but the shadow of the mind, the sum total of memories. Pure being is reflected in the mirror of the mind as knowing. What is known takes the shape of a person, based on memory and habit. It is but a shadow or a projection of the knower onto the screen of the mind. The mirror is there, the reflection is there, but where is the sun? The Supreme is the sun. It must be conscious. It is neither conscious nor unconscious. Don't think of it in terms of consciousness or unconsciousness. It is the life, which contains both and is beyond both. Life is so intelligent, how can it be unconscious? You talk of the unconscious when there is a lapse in memory. In reality, there is only consciousness. All life is conscious, all consciousness, alive. Even stones are conscious and alive. The worry with me is that I'm prone to denying existence to what I cannot imagine. You would be wiser to deny the existence of what you imagine. It is the imagined that is unreal. Is all imaginable unreal? Imagination based on memories is unreal. The future is not entirely unreal. Which part of the future is real and which is not? The unexpected and unpredictable is real.